Hey everyone, coming to you live from San Diego County, Ohio. This is CBSI presents Tales from the Flipside, episode 14, where who you hear is who you get. Guys, introduce yourselves.
It is Ben S., and I am back this week with a working microphone, I think.
Hallelujah. John Z, fired up, a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of Game of Thrones, some Shark Week, lots going on.
And pulling up the rear is Scotty Too Hottie. We got a
You
week
like it
lineup.
back there?
We got a what's that?
You like it back there in the rear?
I do. I mean, somebody's got to be back here.
Hey, speaking of Shark Week, there's a friend of mine who calls the week, that month of the week, Shark Week.
My buddy does too. That's hilarious.
Don't say it to your wife.
Oh, she knows.
She may know, but just don't say it. Let's say hello to our one fan watching, Adam. Good to see you there.
We have a fan.
What's up?
That's what we get for going up after Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow that show, but we'll try.
And we won't do any spoilers because it's way too fresh, and I don't even think the West Coast has had it yet.
Everyone dies.
Hey, our fan base has tripled. Holy hell.
Oh man.
We're on fire. Get about three more and we're at record territory.
Tom,
I guess we
Tony.
should start then.
Can we get more people watching than talking today? Dare to dream big.
Yeah, we definitely have some absentee members today.
Well, I mean, Matt is at a premiere of the Emoji Movie taking his kids, which I do recall him posting a picture with, not with Patrick Stewart, of Patrick Stewart there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let that
cool.
slide.
Captain Picard.
Absolutely.
Hold on, are you actually serious? He is at a premiere for the Emoji Movie?
Yeah, he got invited to premiere and he got his kids in. I'm like, well, you can't pass that up.
Red carpet at all.
Yeah, he shot a picture of like him about 5 feet from Picard.
Oh man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. I mean,
on that.
I would do that if I had the opportunity.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'd do the podcast over that.
I've said it before, man. That Patrick Stewart, he's just learned to not take himself fucking seriously, and I love it.
Yeah, I love those Strongbow commercials.
I mean, there's some show on, I don't know, Showtime or HBO that I keep seeing ads for that I feel like I need to go back and watch, and I just keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, he's like an executive or something for a major company.
Yeah, and like he's a son of a bitch. So I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
going from like the captain, you know.
It's, I mean,
And
some big
I'm not a
shows, for
Trekkie, but it's the captain I grew up with. I mean, I watched that Star Trek live.
That is the captain.
I mean, you know, the original Star Trek is a little bit hokey to me. I didn't watch it as a kid, but
Next Generation was great.
yeah, growing up, that was on TV. That's what you saw.
Yeah.
It was it's called Blunt Talk, I believe, the show he's on. But yeah, Dino's out and Brian is at a 10-day conference in Las Vegas, so
Yeah, he's on media lockdown.
I cannot believe I'm trying to imagine spending 10 days in Vegas.
I had a friend who did back-to-back conferences, and she did like 7. And I'm like, I'm gonna send you a fruit basket at day 4 because you're just gonna need some fucking nourishment.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, I couldn't do 10
I've
days.
done like 3 days and I've done like 5 days. And that 5 days was more than enough.
I actually had an internship out there, spent 12 weeks, but that was different.
Wow.
I actually behaved, except like the 4 or 5 times you went out and got crazy. You learn you have to behave. You can't live that life.
We're not savages.
Even Sean couldn't do it as much as I
I
love
don't
him,
know
man.
about that. I think Sean could do a lot of things.
He lives life too hard. You have to live Vegas a little bit in spurts.
his life is Vegas then.
Yeah, he pretty much is Vegas.
I guess there's Mr. Vegas Jim Bagley's out there somewhere.
Yeah,
It does sound like Yeah, it does sound like Sean's at least hitting a little bit of a middle age wall that is on some of the way he talks.
You guys say that, but from what I've heard about his San Diego trip, I don't think that's true. I'll let them save that for the UD, but it seems to me that he's had a pretty interesting weekend so far.
Yeah, I mean, we can confirm he's alive at least.
Mm-hmm.
Was of yesterday. I know we saw him earlier. We saw him today, so he's around.
Wanted to start off our topics with how we store our comics, different types of bags and stuff like that. I just do mine in Ultra Pro Silver Age size for no real reason.
Dip Mars, man.
What'd you say?
Yeah,
Dip Mars.
What's dip?
Big
Mars?
dips.
Dip
Big
lights.
dip bags.
Dip lights are the shit.
Yeah.
I should do all of them in there, but I just like cheap books I don't feel are worthy of it.
Yeah. I do have the cheaper stuff for the like Paul said, the Ultra Guard or whatever.
Well, I tell you what, all the shops here used to be BCW because BCW is like 40 minutes from here. And now they've all went to Ultra Pro, but they've got mixed boards, and I don't like those. They're too loose.
BCW is definitely better than Ultra Pro.
Ultra Pros are loose. Like there's like a quarter inch of extra space between that and the board. And I hate them.
I don't like the feel of them too. They're a little
I
stiff.
agree.
Really? My store uses the Ultra Pros and what's the bags? I can't remember. Let me look at my bags.
They're Ultra Pros too.
No, they don't use Ultra Pro bag or boards. I mean, they use Southern Hobby boards.
Never heard of them.
And the Southern Hobby the Southern Hobby boards with the Ultra Pro bags. There's no overlap. So they fit perfect to the top of the Ultra Pro bags. And they seem to that combination seems to work really well.
Well, whatever I'm getting here sucks. I've got Silver Age and Golden Age I want to just throw away.
I hate that when you get a bad
If Dip
bad
could get me some Golden Age dip lights, they only have Silver Age right now, man. If I had Golden Age dip lights, I wouldn't buy anything else.
Yeah, but they're great. They really are.
Yeah, I might have to go to Dip for when I'm due to order some more. But
how much do those normally run?
I pulled it up. The price jumps up and down. I ordered them on Amazon. I got
what are you talking about?
For Ultra Pro? Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Ultra Pro. What were you asking about?
Yeah,
I think we're talking dip lights.
Yeah, the dip light. How much are those?
Man, they're less than Mylar, like the My Lights. I can't remember the exact price.
$20 for 100 shipped.
Yeah,
like that.
Which isn't bad because the Mylars are
like 50 cents to $1, depending.
Yeah, they're like 30 some bucks for 50 and shipping, like 33 shipped.
That's just for the bags.
Yeah,
it's just the bags. Yeah.
Honestly, if you want a good combo, you get the Silver Age. I like halfbacks. I don't like fullbacks personally.
Yeah, I don't like the fullbacks. Too thick.
You get the halfbacks from Gerber, and you put dip lights on and the Silver Age dip lights, and those are a nice combo.
What size boards for Gerber?
The current silver, they fit nice. And the Silver Age BCWs fit nice too.
Yeah, that's what I pretty much use.
You use that for all your books?
Everybody went away from the BCW. I'm having some trouble, so.
Not all the books. The
nice
ones I want to keep. Yeah, the nice ones, or ones, higher end books that you want to make them look nicer. Because they look just as clear as Mylars do, but they're not as thick, and they're half the price, maybe even more than half. And they have that little glue strip on the back, so you don't need tape.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, they're a little thinner. I would bet they're like
probably like
1 to 1.5 milliliter. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely not 2 mil, but they're
they're close enough, and they just have a little bit more forgiveness, I think.
Because if you have a bag that's too big for your book, for me, for instance, it slides around. I have the Silver Age, and I have modern books and all sorts of whatnot in there, so it just slides around and just increases the potential to damage your book. Am I right?
I don't know. I don't I don't like the current. The currents just because. I mean, I don't buy that many moderns, and when I do, if you get an oversized one or a thick one, they don't fit.
That's why I chose those, is because I felt like I was just cramming my books in bags that I can't remember what they were in the past. So I just switched to Silver Age for them to be able to fit in there easy.
Modern, but you don't want to get Golden Age because the modern will flop around.
When you don't ship, I mean, if you're shipping it, maybe you switch it, but I don't. I usually just leave it in a silver and tape it down. It'll be fine. Yeah. And you're not moving your books around that much.
True.
And I just find I already have to get Golden Age. I've got magazine size. I've got Silver Age. When I have currents, it just makes my head hurt.
And what was for those Ultra Pro boards? Wasn't there? No one ever seems to know which side to put towards your book. The glossy side or the
coated side.
Oh, yeah, it's the coated side.
Yeah,
it's coated with I forget what the name of it is, but that's what
it's a buffer.
That coating, the buffer. That's the buffer. Whereas the halfbacks and the fullbacks have the buffer like built into the actual material.
Whose kids are pretending they're my dog?
my daughter. My wife's working on throwing her in the tub.
That's right. The dog is pacing around, preparing to make its move, so we're all good.
Yeah, Paul, you want to use the glossy side.
All right. Sounds good.
But then those type of things only last about 7 years. Those type of books, maybe a little bit longer, depending upon how humid it is.
Man, what are you talking about? I've had my childhood collection was in the same bags and boards for 20 years. They were fine. They look like shit.
Yeah, they look like shit, but you get that. You start to get that smell and that acid build up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to change them out, but I don't know. I think 5 to 7 is, if you're keeping them in a temperate house, it's not that bad. But if you're going to put them in heat and conditions, you got to change them quicker.
I'm not even sure that that's even true because I had basically a ton of books in those really weird bags back in the early 90s or whatever, and I'd moved like 3 or 4 times, and every time I just put my long boxes up in the attic and just forgot about them for years and years. I mean, that huge temperature swings up in the attic, and then finally when I got back in or whatever, I pulled them all down, and I ended up switching the bags out after that, but they've been in almost probably 20 years, and the books were fine. There's nothing wrong with the books.
Yeah, except when you occasionally put the board backwards and get the cover image on the back of the board when you hit it without the buffer side and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess if I would have maybe done that, but I didn't see any boards or all the books that I ended up switching out or whatever. I didn't really see any boards that were
potentially when I was 14. I wasn't as smart as I am now.
Well, see, but in the mid 90s, I was way older than 14.
Yeah, I just can't stand yellow bags and boards.
No, they need change because have you ever been at a con and just dig through it and your hands just feel gross?
Yep.
So is that how you
there's one store around me that's all they have is dirty books, and I can't go in there.
So if you don't know how long you've had your books in your bag and board, is it by color and smell or just?
When the bag and board starts turning yellow, that's when you got to start thinking about changing it.
Doesn't mean it's aged
at that
like
point,
a fine wine.
No, it's more of an aesthetic thing. Can you stand looking at yellow bags and boards, or are you anal and need to change it?
And most of the bags, most of the books now are barely paper. They're not newsprint like they were.
No. Yeah, I don't think the moderns are going to have.
They could sit in those bag and boards for 30 years probably, and you wouldn't know.
Definitely, yeah.
Now, Golden Age, I still have a few cheap ones left over, but I've been moving to Mylar just because, when you're buying nicer books, you just may as well.
So tell me the difference between those two.
Mylar, supposedly, it's archival grade, so that's like what Library of Congress uses. It's it used to be what CGC used. I think they've moved to something similar.
Yeah. I think they call it inherent or
inert.
Inert, that's right, inert.
So, they supposedly will last just about forever, and then the halfbacks and fullbacks are truly buffered. not just spray buffered. So supposedly they'll last forever. My guess is probably 20 years is realistic, though.
So this is just honestly, to be honest, because I never mess with any of these Mylar things or whatever. What's the difference between a halfback and a fullback?
Oh, I was gonna just ask that question. Thanks for
just the thickness of the board.
Fullback, I think, is like, I don't know, 4 millimeters thick or something like that, and then the halfback's just half that size.
Like a halfback to me feels about twice as rigid as a standard board.
I agree. Fullback is just
fullback, you're just a monster. It ain't gonna bend.
Well, thanks for asking that question, Ben. I thought it was only Mel and myself.
My general opinion, though, is you can get 4 milliliter Mylars. Like my lights is the 2 milliliter Mylars. If you buy the 4 or so, they're almost dangerous to books. I think they're so heavy.
Yeah,
they're not pliable. I've gotten a few books in them, and I just throw them away.
So Adam Lebednik on the YouTube chat said that it's 24 mil versus 42 mil.
Okay,
I guess on those.
Who's jiggling a collar?
That's the dog.
Wow.
I told she's pacing.
She's got to make noise one way or another.
She's not barking.
Oh God, Jimmy Linguini's listening. I have no idea what he's doing.
Uh-oh.
He's talking about R. Kelly.
That sounds.
And then we're up to.
There are 10 people on the chat and only 4 of us. Congratulations. There are more live listeners than talkers.
I think it was Robert Miller who pushed us to 8. So shout out to him.
Thank you all. We feel the love.
11.
Now I got a question for you guys. Do you guys do short boxes or long boxes?
Short.
I'm a short box guy.
I only do long boxes if I buy a bulk lot and I'm going to take it to a con, but no, I'm done.
I've seen sling long boxes, Z.
What's that?
I've seen Z sling long boxes.
Yeah.
I don't have any right now. I've gotten rid of them all.
As I've gotten older, fatter, and weaker, I've learned to appreciate the short box.
Yeah, the short box is where it's at.
They look less disturbing too when they're piled in a corner or they fit in a closet better. I mean, you feel slightly less of a nerd.
Yeah, those long boxes are a bit much. I had one and I just couldn't find a spot for it, so it just kind of sat in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I actually about 2 weeks ago I bought finally for my office I bought one of these like industrial metal 24-inch wide shelves or whatever that and I've got it set nice in the corner in my office with all my short boxes, stacked basically almost all the way to the ceiling on it, but
nice.
But yeah, like each shelf holds like 1,000 pounds, so there's like no chance of it breaking or anything like that. But
yeah, I remember seeing that picture. That was pretty sweet.
It was. I think they were on sale at like Home Depot for like $89 or something like that. So I just went ahead and bought it. It was like I'm tired of these boxes. Just I can't pull them out. I can't do anything with them. So
I hate that when you have to like move 2 boxes to get to 1 box.
Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't work with the long boxes.
I've seen some posts on Facebook with people like, I've had so many books in room that it's not the weight for the shelf, it's the number of shelves they've got on like their second floor. They've got to like do the math on the room.
Can the ceiling hold this? Yeah, I mean, you get a couple. You get a stack of boxes. That's pretty heavy.
And
a long box weighs 50 pounds, maybe 30 pounds.
Well, more than that. I gotta think it's closer to 50.
Yeah,
that's a serious.
Maybe I'm just fat and old. I don't know.
Let's just say 40. We'll shoot the middle to say 40. Can add up quick.
Well, and all I gotta say is anybody that keeps their comics in the basement, you are a brave motherfucker, because my basement flooded but 2 months ago, and
oh fuck,
I don't keep anything down there, but man, that would have sucked.
Has anybody ever used like the plastic boxes or anything? Because I know those aren't cheap. But rather than the cardboard, Yeah, no,
I just
like
go-
the I think BCW sells them, but they're like $20 a piece or something like that. But they're plastic rather than
Man,
cardboard.
I'm too cheap to even get all my boxes to match at this point because I bought them from different shops at different times, and I got some that are shorter and some that are longer. And like every time I'm like, I'm gonna buy a bunch and just do it, like they never have enough, and then the next time they order them, they get something else. It just pisses me off.
The best is when you start mixing up the lids and the
Oh.
one lid doesn't fit on the other ones.
Well, I came home from IndieCon and one of you assholes took one of my magazine size lids.
I think I have it. I have like 5 extra lids.
Yeah, I got done because I was the last man standing. I'm like, motherfucking magazine size? Of course you took that one.
I probably threw it on the slab box.
Yeah, but they're not interchangeable.
Some are, but some aren't. Yeah.
Our next topic is perfect for Flipside. It's about some Disney announcements. I don't know if anybody's already taken or planning to take their kids to Disney either, this summer or in the future, but they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction, and they're opening next year. They're doing Toy Story Land, which seems really odd to open a Toy Story Land so long after those movies have been out. But 2019, they're doing Star Wars Land, and they're calling it, I think it was Star Wars Galaxy Edge. So Disney's always doing cool stuff. I've never been there myself, but some neat parts.
Yeah, whenever they open a Star Wars Land, that place is just going to be packed.
Yeah, you probably want to go 3 years after it opens.
Gotta say, Disney's making good use of their properties.
Yeah, and I mean, fine by me. If you're going to buy something, at least give something to the public about it, rather than just buy it and nobody can make a movie about it, and so and so owns the rights, and they're never going to release it and all that crap.
Would they buy the Star Wars properties for what, $4 billion or something like that?
Yeah, 4-point-something billion.
And they're probably already profitable on it.
I think they turned a profit the second year.
I didn't put. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't put these in the list, but they're gonna do a another attraction for Ratatouille, I think in Paris, and then a Tron one as well. But got to keep your parks fresh, and they certainly have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Are they moving forward with that Tron 3, or is that still dead? Or is that dead?
I don't know. I mean, if they're going to build a Tron attraction, I can't imagine.
It sounds like
the movie.
It seems like Disney doesn't just do one thing. They set it up and they do it across almost every spectrum they have.
I guess the roller coaster is going to open in 2021, so who knows when they'll do the movie. Probably around then.
I actually like the second Tron movie. I probably was one of the few people who did, but
yeah, I didn't think it was too bad.
Yeah, I liked it.
After Tron, he did. Jeff Bridges did The Giver. Did anyone watch that movie? I wanted to, but I never did.
The Giver?
Yeah, they made a movie into it, but I never really looked up reviews or anything.
That sounds really like a really gay movie.
No, it was they made it after the book. You didn't read the book when you were in school?
Would that be The Taker? No. Taker would be the really gay way. The Giver could be. It might not be gay. But it could.
I'll have to look it up on Rotten Tomatoes now. Oh, it's based off the Giver, the book. But I guess.
Yeah, I got time to read a book called The Giver.
No, they made you read it in grade school.
Yeah, Giver.
No.
I didn't even know her.
Probably wasn't even written when the rest of us were in grade school, Paul.
I know, Paul. You were in grade school 10 years ago.
I don't know. I got to find out when the book came out. I think it came out in 1993. So, all right, never mind.
Yeah, most of us were in high school, or Ben might have been, graduating college.
Yeah, I was already graduated from high school in '93.
Old
Well,
man.
we
These are all
can
old man Logan there.
we can review that book for on our next podcast.
What, The Giver?
I'm just kidding.
Might be shorter than Maximum Carnage.
Now, is it The Giver or is it just Giver?
It's the book is called The Giver by Lois Lowry.
The Giver. Okay.
It's sounding gayer and gayer the more we talk about it.
I give up. Next week I'll talk about the Bible and we'll go from there.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of books we've read and reviewed, did you guys see that they're going to do a Death of Superman animated movie?
I'm
I
really
didn't see that.
I would like to see that story done right.
I think they even said 2 parts. So my guess is like the death and then the after part, maybe the rebirth,
The
whatever.
funeral for a friend.
I'm guessing the funeral and then what it was when the 4 Superman came and all that shit.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see it done without all that wordiness.
Yeah, but man, those characters were lame.
Yeah, definitely. I hope they do change the character.
They got to revamp. I mean, but they can't put Wonder Woman in because then you're telling me they can't kick his ass with Wonder Woman?
Yeah, they did it in Batman vs Superman.
I mean, that was the issue. Is Batman wasn't fucking there. Batman would have solved this fucking problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hope they make a Red Sun one too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Red Sun is awesome.
I think I would be more stoked for the death though, because I don't think it's done properly. I think it was a good concept that just wasn't was executed at a poor time in comics.
Poor execution. That artwork was terrible.
Oh god.
And the dialogue and the wordiness was terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it just is. It's just. I think we always talk about how stories are not good and Marvel's not good. And, man, looking back at it, I think it's just we're older and we expect more. I mean, because we've revisited a few books, and even the one we read this week did not impress me that much.
No.
So maybe we just give Marvel credit because we were 15 at the time, or in Paul's case, 7.
Is it honestly possible that 90s crash was more because of how bad the writing was and not just all the gimmick covers and the millions and millions of copies, but the writing was so bad?
I definitely think it had something to do with it. I mean, they were just pumping out crap, and
I don't know, but I don't think we saw it as crap at the time.
No,
we didn't, but maybe I think subconsciously we must have known something was up.
If anything you release is going to sell, then your QA department's going to slack.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I mean, there was some great stuff written then, but man, some of it was maybe it was just the 90s. We didn't have expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
They slapped foil on a cover, and we bought it.
Of course, reading the Silver Age stuff, reading the Bronze Age stuff, that's also painful to revisit to a degree. Have you guys tried that?
Yeah, Silver Age is real tough.
Oh, I tried reading.
They describe everything in detail. 9 panels.
Tried to read Golden Age a few times. Holy shit!
Yeah.
It's like reading. May as well be reading a novel.
Yeah, I think we're spoiled now. Like, we actually have good stuff written well, art's done well.
I don't think it's so much that it's written well. Like, somebody was comparing the word count. Like, they showed a picture of a Silver Age book and a picture of a modern, and the modern had 15 words for an entire page.
Yeah.
But I think we've just adapted to the art carrying it more than it used to.
Yeah, do you think they were trying to fill space back then, or is that just how it was?
I just don't think the art was as expressive as it is now.
I don't know. It's funny. I actually picked up a reprint of Crime Suspense Stories 22. I mean, I know Mel thinks it just came out 2 weeks ago, but but I just wanted to. I picked up a reprint just because I wanted to read it or whatever. And the first page, I mean, it's I mean, it says Bertha looked at her husband and saw the angry fire in his eyes. I mean, it's just like explaining like
the first page took you an hour.
Oh yeah, I mean there's 800 words on the first page with 3 pictures. I mean it's just amazing how different that was.
Yeah, definitely agree.
But we read something a little wordy. We read Maximum Carnage, 14 Parts of Joy.
14 parts. It was probably about 10 parts too many.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but it was just one whole battle, like, and it just seemed like there was the same thing over and over again.
I read the first couple issues, like every word of it, and I was kind of getting into it. I mean, the story was good, and then between the crunch for time and just kind of dragging out, I slipped into Tony mode and just started looking at the pictures. But
I mean, it was entertaining. I mean, Carnage is a badass.
Yeah, he's fucking unstoppable.
And I mean, there was a pretty good cast of characters in there. I mean, you had Venom, Carnage, Black Cat, Cloak and Dagger, Firestar, Captain America, Deathlock.
I don't know, but it was almost like too over the top. But I guess that was Carnage's point. Like he was just.
It was way over the top. The only thing I didn't like is like they would like have a battle and then like,
ice machine. I've maybe exceeded my amount of ice I should be drinking tonight.
Like they'd have a battle and then somebody would run away, and then they'd like heal up and then have another battle and then somebody would run away, and just like
at least like 5 different battles, right?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like nothing really happened. There wasn't really much to the story at all. It was just constantly fighting.
I was surprised at the beginning. Well, first, I don't know the history because I'm just so young, but Peter's parents were back, and I was like, what the fuck happened there?
I've never read. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. There's got to be something up with that.
Yeah, later I read they were in some Siberian camp, prison for 20 years or some shit. But anyway, I was also surprised at some of the brutal murders. I mean, they were off panel, but I was like, Jesus Christ.
There was one scene you saw a body, like a severed body from the legs.
Yeah.
So I actually debated letting my 9-year-old read it or not. I still haven't decided. I'm like, it's Spider-Man.
Well, you got to figure out what issue that severed body is, and if he might not even make it that many issues in.
That's true. I don't know. He's trying. I've been getting him trades at the library, and he'll read like 4 or 5 of them in 2 days. I'm like, shit, I read a trade. It takes me a week.
Does he have? Do any of your kids have a Kindle or any type of tablet?
It's funny you mentioned that. A friend of ours had got a tablet. It had loaned us the Marvel Universe to do, but for some reason it doesn't like to download as fast as he reads it, so that causes us issues.
I was going to say the Hoopla app that Ben was talking about a while ago has some trades on it. I think that's how I read Red Sun.
I think he just likes paper too. I mean, he just likes to be able to flip through it and then stop at night. And also, I don't really like. I feel better him reading a comic versus more screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, we went the other day and got. I think he got 4 trades and he was done before I got finished one of them. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So he's like, we got a Flash Rebirth, and he got through a few pages. He goes, I'm just so fucking confused. I can't finish this one. I said, okay, no problem. Flash is confusing as hell, man.
What'd you guys think of the Spawn ripoff in Maximum Carnage?
What Night Watch, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That was blatant. His coloring, his design.
I'll tell you what, like honestly,
Kate.
And I'm dead serious. Until they said his name, I was like, what the fuck is Spawn doing in this?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that character existed because, like, in the back of my head, I'd seen it somewhere, but holy hell, it's a blatant ripoff. It's like, It was after McFarlane left, but it was like a big fuck you to him.
Yeah, it was definitely like I said, they fooled me.
I did some Google Wiki because I was debating if I didn't think he stole it, but I'm like, man. But there was something about that was a bio organic suit or some shit. So at least it was a little different presence, but that's another
Iron Fist was in it.
That's another, but that Night Watch was another character, kind of like when you see Maxima in Death of Superman or that Blood Rain or Blood, like characters that were there for a minute and they're gone.
So
I thought Venom was really whiny in the whole thing.
He was a bit of a bitch.
So the premise of the story is Carnage is not the original Carnage, right?
No, it's Cletus Cassidy.
No, his symbiote though, like
mutates and becomes a part of him or something like that.
And then so the premise of the story is he's in jail, and then I don't know if the symbiote took that long to
regenerate. No, he was hiding it. He said he was hiding it until he could get out. But I tell you what,
he breaks out of jail, and just goes on a rampage, and that's pretty much the start of the story.
Yeah, that character's one. I didn't even remember her.
How about the weird family they had going? She was the mom, he was the dad, and the spider doppelganger was the son with what was that, Demo Goblin?
And Karen.
Yeah. There's a lot of people from like mirror universes or some shit.
Yeah,
I think it was right around the Infinity War, though.
Yeah, that's where they came from.
Or Infinity.
So it was like
whatever.
But in typical bad guy fashion, they always end up fighting each other because they can't agree on how bad they should kill people. So they start fucking trying to kill each other.
Ben, did you ever read Maximum Carnage back when? Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually have. I probably have almost every issue. I just have never. It's been probably 20 years or whatever since I read it, and then I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to reread it again. But
slacker.
I back in the 90s. That's what it was. Everything I bought was Spider-Man. So I've got all the Maximum Carnage, Maximum Clonage. I've got all that stuff still.
It's funny. I sold all that stuff off a few years ago, and I'm not sad about it. I don't think.
Yep, getting anything for it.
The only thing I might be sad about is Mary Jane was drawn fucking dirty
in Maximum Carnage.
You didn't observe that?
Yeah, she was definitely slutty. So was the Black Cat. The Black Cat was wearing that. Like, I don't know how her costume stayed on because
she didn't have
like that. It didn't like go over her shoulders. So it was like off to the side of her shoulders, and then it was like wide open in the middle. Like,
oh yeah,
like her shoulders down her middle of her chest was wide open.
I don't know as much about women's clothing as Koi, but I think it's double-sided tape or something.
Mary Jane didn't wear anything that went below like midriff in the entire 14 issues. That might have been why we all read Spider-Man, was how they drew Mary Jane.
And she whined the whole time.
She was less whiny than fucking Spider-Man, though.
Yeah, he was like, oh.
She was more bitchy, like Nagy.
Yeah, how dare you go save people, son of a bitch.
You promised me you go a week. That's what she was pissed off about. You promised me you go a week without being Spider-Man. It's like, well, do you see fucking Carnage out there, bitch? Like, what do you want me to do? Sit here on vacation while Carnage tears up the city? Like,
oh yeah. I don't know. It was just it was a little bit nonsensical, I think, was what I took from it.
He tore that city apart.
He did.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys actually rate the whole storyline?
I'd give it like a very fine minus.
I'm like a 5. It's readable, but barely.
Yeah, 4.5, something like that.
Meatloaf.
What is she doing?
God, who knows?
I don't know. I vote we pick something a little better to read next time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes,
I was
definitely.
thinking maybe we should do a movie just so we'd all have time to do it. But I don't know. We'll talk about it, I guess, and put it up on the G Plus
Have
page.
you guys ever read X Sanction?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was like it was just before like Avengers vs. X-Men.
I think
Like
is that with Cable?
4-part miniseries. It's got like Cable versus the Avengers, basically. Like he's trying to like stop everything.
I read that. I think I sold the hardcover at IndieCon.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good.
I don't know. We'll talk about. We should
Sure.
find like another classic. Maybe I don't know, a well written one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna,
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're gonna do Secret Wars.
No, that's not that good. Any of that stuff's not that good.
When you say classic, how far back are you talking?
Well, no further than the '80s, but
I wouldn't mind doing Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, like maybe a couple issues of that.
maybe
Yeah, that's something I've never read, but
we'd have to find like a good storyline though. I feel like that's something it's like Sandman. You've almost got to engross in like 30 episodes or 30 issues.
From like the the mid '90s type era. I mean, I still love Marvels. I still love Kingdom Come. I think those were great,
Kingdom
and they
Come.
were short.
Kingdom Come could be good.
That's good.
yeah, I like that one. I haven't read.
Or
that
we
one.
could, what we could do is do Gotham by Gaslight. That's short.
Yeah,
It is short.
Tony was saying Batman and the Monster Men, 6 issues. But
I don't think
Gaslight
I ever
could be
read
sick.
that one.
Have we read Red Sun?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
missed
did.
that
We
episode.
did Red Sun.
Yeah.
I missed that episode, but that was really good.
Gotham's like only like one prestige size format thing. It's pretty short.
I still love. I mean, I thought it was great. I think Mignola's art was perfect for that storyline.
So in the end of Carnage, they killed. It was left open if he died or not. Venom survived that gigantic explosion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Carnage comes back because it's comics, but they didn't show him die, right?
No.
Maybe we should. Can I throw something wild out there?
What's
Maybe
that?
we should read something non-Marvel DC. Read an indie.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Sure.
Like read.
Mouse.
No. Like, what about like Harbinger, the first chunk, or the first few issues of Spawn, or I don't know.
Definitely
Something
Valiant.
to ponder for a while. I just like something off the modern or off the big two.
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard
man,
about this comic. I heard about this little one called Walking Dead we could do. But yeah, man, get a list together and throw up a.
If anybody
poll.
wants to,
Yeah, well, if anybody's got suggestions, throw them out there.
We don't even have to. I mean, we necessarily don't even have to do a poll. We could just say anything beyond the big two, put in the comments, and we'll talk amongst ourselves.
Just make sure there's more,
Beyond the-
more pictures than words.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hold it, beyond the big two, but not beyond the big 12.
So no Valiant.
I mean, Dino's been begging to read Zenoscope, but Paul's
Yeah,
too young.
Zenoscope
He can't
have
actually
words?
purchase that yet.
Does Zenoscope have words on the inside?
Does
Dino
it have
doesn't
an
know
inside?
that.
I've never opened the cover.
Yeah, I've never opened the Zenoscope book.
I never made it. Scott and I never made it past the cover.
Yep, that's all you need. It.
All we need.
Oh man.
Oh shoot! What do you guys?
Easiest job in comics, writing for them.
Yeah.
So now that we've bored everybody with our Carnage review, should we talk about the trailers and stuff of SDCC?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
we can trump UD on this, right?
Fuck them. They chose Wednesday. We got stuck with Sunday. We got to compete with Game of Thrones and fucking Walking Dead. We need what we can get.
That's right. Our drop down to 13 listeners. They don't listen to UD anyway, so.
Dude, 13 is probably our record. I'm
Yeah.
stoked. We're gonna read everybody's name off soon.
So maybe. So hold it. So does that mean that Dino is our weak link?
Yeah,
Get him off. Get him off.
I think it's a sign.
Sorry, Dino.
The Infinity War trailer is not officially out on YouTube, though, right?
No, it was leaked and then taken off.
I couldn't watch it. It was like shot from somebody's lab. I sort of watched it. I couldn't do it.
I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I didn't get much from it. I mean, there was a Thanos scene.
That Thor one, though.
I'm stoked about Thor.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, because they killed it with the first one, and the second one, I don't know if it's as good as the first trailer, but it's good. It looks like it's a Hulk Thor buddy comedy for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I'm interested I'll have to look it up to see how they've changed the CGI from Avengers to this Thor movie, because Hulk looks a lot different. I don't know if it's because he has more speaking parts. Well,
they trimmed his hair like Thor, though. They trimmed it short. I think that's what I observed. It looked a little bit kind of like a Totally Awesome haircut. It was very spiky.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm kind of wondering if that was part of their, when Thor got his haircut, when he got to the planet, Hulk had the same thing, and that's what's really making it look weird.
I'll have to see.
But it definitely reminded more of that, merged personalities Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just caught my eye as different. So I don't know. Maybe the technology changed, for all I know.
Who's the villain? Who's that chick?
Hela.
Hela, okay.
Yeah, Koi's seriously specking on her.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely went for the comedy angle. I think they've figured out that Thor, playing Thor a little bit blonde is the key to success for them.
Yeah, I mean, because Thor's kind of like an oddball. He gets hammered, drinks a lot.
It was kind of missing in Ultron. He was too serious. I think that's where it went wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And even in Thor 2, he was a little serious. I mean, the first Thor, he was very
brooding.
A little relaxed, though. It was still funny because he was not, you could tell he was not of this world, and they haven't played that up in a long time.
Who's the big creature that Hulk was attacking? I can't. Starts with an S.
Suture,
yeah. Suture, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It is voiced by the great Clancy Brown, so that's awesome. But other than that, I don't care.
Is it just the thing that brings about the destruction of everything, or does anyone know?
It looked like a hell demon to me, so I have not researched it.
Is it a Lord of the Rings crossover?
Sauron's forces.
Maybe he'll scream, "There can be only one." That'd be awesome.
What'd you guys think of the Justice League trailer?
I didn't like it the first time I saw it, and I watched it again, and a day later, and I liked it more.
I liked it up until Aquaman went through the building or whatever, and
and then just walked out.
Yeah, it looked like something from a Saturday night TV movie or something. Yeah, it looked terrible.
It feels like we're doing a Suicide Squad. How the movie changes as the trailers keep coming. A bit of a hot mess feel.
Yeah, almost like they're trying to get a feel of what people like and what they don't, and then they'll just re-edit the stuff that people don't like.
Just make it Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
Just have them just help her out. That's all you need. I'm a little concerned about I'm concerned about the Flash.
Yeah,
I don't think that's.
I think they cast the show so well that it's tough.
Yeah.
They wanted to do something different, and I don't know that he's going to get comparisons to Grant Gustafson.
Gustin,
yeah. I mean, because I didn't like his pick initially when the show started, but he's grown really into it.
Yeah. What is their big deal with not crossing over TV show actors with the movie?
It'd be too hard. It would be impossible.
Yeah, probably schedules.
And shared universes, and shooting a TV show is pretty intense work, especially something like that.
Yeah, and then to take 3 or 4 months out of another 3 or 4 months to shoot a movie would be, those people would never basically, they'd work all the time.
I tell you what, his costume looks terrible though.
Yes, I don't like it at all.
It like Flash. Anytime you've seen the Flash, even the '90s version of the Flash TV show, which was probably the first time a superhero outfit looked cool. Because like even the Christopher Reeve stuff was not that good, and it all kind of still looked like the '60s Batman. But that '90s Flash, they kind of put in the muscle tone and things, and they've done it right. But Flash has always been like a speed costume, and his costume looks clunky and metal.
Yeah, it looks like a suit of armor.
Yeah.
It almost looks like Batman's suit, but made for Flash.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, because I mean, he needs something that just won't disintegrate when he runs at high speeds. Like, he doesn't need armor.
Yeah, that isn't going to fit in the Flash ring. That's for sure shit.
Yeah, it looks like on the YouTube chat, it looks like people don't like the suit either.
Yeah, I pulled up the trailer, and where is it at? So like 3 minutes and like 25 seconds or whatever when everyone disappears on the roof. It looks like he can't.
What?
The Justice League trailer when Flash is on the roof.
What were they?
What?
The roof?
Yeah, he's on the roof, but he's turning around like, oh, they disappeared real fast. But he can't turn his head. Oh, did I say roof? Did I say roof rough like Jimmy?
Rough.
A boot.
A boot.
I think we say that in Ohio though, because I've always said roof.
Roof. You guys are all roofers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, his suit didn't look like he could turn his head that well.
He probably can.
And I will say they're playing Aquaman. They're trying to almost go with the Thor vibe for him. You guys not seeing that? I mean, not as aloof, but
yeah, I mean,
kind of going for that comic relief vibe on it.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I just don't know. Like, if you're not in the water, how powerful can he be?
Well, apparently he can jump right through a building.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
Who do you guys think?
I don't know. He might be able to pull off the comedy part of it though, because he's I don't know. He seems like just a big goofy guy anyway. So I think he probably could pull that off.
You think Alfred was talking to at the end of the trailer? I guess that's the other big mystery.
I just hope they don't spoil it before the movie. I really at DC. Their trailers end up, they just keep showing more and more of the movie, and I don't want to see it before the movie actually comes out.
I think they've spoiled too much, and the only unknown to me is Cyclops is a little bit, Cyborg. They've not really done much, so that's about the only thing I feel like that they've not like just ruined.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know who said it, but they're just throwing everything out there, probably seeing what's good. I bet I wouldn't be surprised to see a different costume on Flash. If everybody just starts saying they don't like it.
I go full Green Lantern CGI on it.
Yeah, right. Oh god, that was terrible. Oh,
I need Jon Stewart to show up in fucking Justice League.
They'll probably do some re-edits and reshoots, and that'll be a bad sign.
Wasn't Green Lantern in that most recent poster or something like that?
Yeah, but that was like it was a Ross poster, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but I just happened to see it.
It was a Ross take on the Justice League.
So it didn't really have anything to do with.
I don't think so. I don't think they've seen any. I haven't seen any announcements on it. It was just it was like a background shot of the Justice League done by Ross. Speaking of badass photos and like backgrounds from SDCC, Did you guys see the one where it was the wall of Teen Titans beating up Teen Titans Go?
No.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I have no idea what it was about. Nobody's given me any like frame of reference for it, but I've seen 2 or 3 shots of it on Facebook and Google Plus and wherever. I don't know what they're selling, but I'm buying.
Did any of you guys see the Ready Player One trailer or read the comic or whatever it is?
The what?
It's called Ready Player One.
Yeah, I was just watching that. That looks pretty interesting.
The trailer tells me nothing about the movie. I don't get it.
It looks like you basically play these virtual video games. Like you put on this headset and you're actually in the video game. Looks interesting. I would stream it.
So it's a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, Spielberg.
I just pulled it up.
This is where we need Devo. He'd tell us everything.
Yeah, he would probably know everything about that. Stranger Things looked awesome.
I purposely haven't watched it. I don't want to know anything about it.
Yeah, I regret watching it. I told myself I wouldn't watch any trailers, and then that one's got me sucked in. And I mean, it looks great. I regret watching it because I didn't want any spoilers, and I don't know. I'd stay away, Z.
Well, that's the thing. Like Netflix, I'm like, it already comes so quick and goes so fast. I don't want to know anything about it. A movie. There's 2 years, 3 years of build up, and I need a little bit.
John needs his fix.
Yeah.
I do like the way Netflix releases things, though.
Oh yeah.
All at once, like I hate waiting.
I'm fucking dying. 5 weeks till the tick. And the UD keeps fucking this up, and every time they talk about it, I'm not on. Like every other week they talk about it. The Tick had a 1 episode fucking promo done last year. Season 1 is coming, and it looks pretty good.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought it was a full season.
No, they did a 1 episode pilot to see if there was interest in it, and they must have got enough views.
And who's playing the Tick?
Oh, I can't think of his name. He was in bit part in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's kind of like a bit actor in a lot of little things, but nothing you really see. So it's a little bit different take on the Tick. It's dumb, but it's almost where the original Tick was American dumb. It strikes me a little bit more Monty Python dumb, but not quite as British.
Huh.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm excited.
Well,
you and the 8 other people out there?
They'll probably be. They will probably still have more people watch that than listen to our podcast. 14 or 15, maybe.
Now, before we go off the SDCC, is there anything that you guys saw at the show that you want like either a toy or a comic or something like that?
I say again, there's probably a bunch of toys I want, but I purposely don't look.
You don't even bother looking. Yeah, that's a smart man.
Man, because I feel like if I get into toys, that's a whole nother fucking
It's a rabbit hole, man. They get you.
I almost bit on some of those Mesco toys, man, and I haven't.
Yeah, I got 2 of the Miles and 2 of the Deadpool.
That Shazam that Dino linked me that thankfully sold out before I got my ass moving probably saved me.
I was gonna buy the Optimus Prime from Toys R Us, and like I waited. I was like, let me think about it. And then when I went back, it was sold out. I was like, thank God.
Why do SDCC comic variants carry so much more weight? Like there's cons all over. Is it just the exposure?
I think it is. I think it's just that's the con. Like SDCC is the name. Like, or maybe the con of all cons.
Maybe it's just because the volume of people that they have there, and so there's so many people looking for that particular item that just all of a sudden then now they know it's impossible to get. But if it's a MegaCon or something like that, there may be a whole lot less people, and they may sell out, but there's not that many people that didn't get it that wanted it.
Well, it's kind of Baltimore. There was some cool shit that I bought that I don't think sold out, like those Allard Labyrinth books. Those were beautiful, and I just don't think there was ever any demand because nobody knew about
them. The black #1s.
Well, those sold.
Yeah, but we kept going back.
Oh yeah. I don't know. There's nothing from SDCC that I would die not having.
I wanted the Wonder Woman foil. That was nice.
The foils piss me off.
I see. I'm a sucker for foils. I like them.
I feel like they're beating them to death.
Yeah,
didn't I hear that a bunch of those were not in great shape?
They never
this time.
Are.
They never are. I mean, if you're expecting anything more than a 9.4 on them, I mean, I remember in Baltimore, the lady that was handing them out, like literally, like crunched every spine on every book she handed out.
Well, I just think even getting them out of the box is probably just about impossible.
I'm actually kind of surprised that. Go ahead.
I think they should bag and board them before they get to the show.
Well,
charge another $1 or something.
I think the issue is though, like, just trying to get them out of the box, even if like one of us did it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. No, you're right.
There'd be more that are 9.4, 9.6, but there wouldn't be many 9.8s. I
think the printing process just leaves that very vulnerable.
Yeah, it's thick stock. It just isn't. It doesn't have a hope, and like the 9.8s are fake.
Yeah, the 9.8s are definitely. I mean, to me, if it has a spine tick, it's not a 9.8.
Shit, we're already down to 11 viewers. Damn it!
Oh, okay, what do we?
Hey, I am surprised. I was going to say, Z, I am a little surprised though that you didn't want that DuckTales SDCC since it was drawn by Jeff Smith.
I don't even think I've seen that.
Or the Tick Pop.
Dude, I can't do pops. I can't do it.
I sent that like for the pop in the chat.
The only pop I want is the Shazam, but that was like an OG like first run pop, and
so it's expensive.
No, the DuckTales sounds intriguing. The Turner Supergirl is interesting because I've noticed a lot of people trying to dump theirs. I might have bought an original Panini cheap this week, so fuck them.
Yeah, I mean 1,000. If that's actually what they end up doing, 1,000 isn't huge by any stretch.
No, it's not. I think it looks better than the Panini. It probably does, but the issue is like, where's the value going to settle? I don't know. I debated back and forth about buying it, and Kenyon twisted my arm. I'm a Turner guy, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll take the risk. I got it at a good enough price. I don't feel like I'm going to lose on it. But there have been more on the market in the past 4 weeks than I have seen in 3 years of collecting.
Yeah, well, once something gets popular and makes a couple high sales, people start to second guess whether they want to keep it.
I agree, and my thought is though, there's 1,000 of the new one that are probably mostly going to be 9.8s. Let's be realistic, and of the original 500 of the other one, there's give or take 50 9.8s. I mean, there's a few probably in other grading companies and shit, but I've never seen a CBCS one. There's one on eBay that's the European grading shit or the Australian, like some other third party, but there's only 50 so in the census. And I've had a copy and seen a few others, and they're not all 9.8s. It takes a lot of scrapes. The surface takes scrapes with that blue cover.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna gamble long term on the blue one. If I can get a Raz win on the new one, I would, but I can't pay $200 for it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Was that what they're going for?
Sets were going for about $175, and realistically, nobody gives a shit about the other two books.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they got the exact same print run.
No,
Those
it's
might-
half.
No,
Oh,
they're-
you mean
on the-
yeah,
and those Batman Superman, they're all right at 1,000. So because you had to buy them in a set.
but it's the art. I mean, the other ones are
Well,
just
it is.
blah.
Yeah, but they're still Turner. I mean, they're still Turner's number to 1,000 on a. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying if you can pick those up for $5-10, I mean that might not be a bad pickup for.
Listen, I already
Down the
told you
road.
I think the rarest Turner, and nobody gives a shit because it's a weird ass thing.
That Supergirl one.
No, that pharmacist one.
Project Superpowers Black Terror Reverse Negative.
What?
Exactly.
Is that real?
It is. I'm sending it
Wow.
to Canada Press next week.
All right,
Going
cool.
for the night. Well, it doesn't even have a listing in the census because they just call.
I don't doubt you one bit.
It's a reverse negative, so it's not as cool, but it's a 1 in 100 of a fucking Dynamite series. Before they started selling shit.
Wouldn't a reverse negative be a normal
It's
image?
a negative. You know what I mean?
All right. Sorry.
Hey,
It's pretty.
I wasn't
cool.
sure if that was part of the title. Like,
I've only seen one in the 3 years I've been looking for it. I've only seen one other posted, and that was the one that got me hunting for it.
Huh.
Like even Inigo, when he was doing his checklist, missed it because he didn't know about it.
that's the weird shit that sells for high dollar when you get it in a 9.8.
Yeah, I mean, there can't be many. I've been looking a long time. Nobody ordered a fucking 100 of a fucking Dynamite series, and this was, this is back when they didn't sell them on websites and shit, and at closeout factory sales, diamond distributor sales.
How long ago was that? Was it printed?
I think it's in that window of 09.
Okay.
I won't swear on the year. It's pre like 12. Fuck you, Mike Z.
What did he say?
It's a reverse negative. You can't tell what it looks like. Sean looks at it and just sees a cowboy.
Yeah, Chris Hellier is saying that I guess even as of today, you could still buy those Aspen sets on their site for $90.
Yeah, I just don't think I can do it. I don't know. I'm a exclusive hater.
We probably I think we've all got to that point. I think.
It's all right. Speaking of cowboys, I'm sending Kenyon to press the infamous double cover clown book. So
Nice.
we will see how this goes for me.
And when they grade a double cover, it's the inside cover that gets the main grade.
Yeah, because I was looking at it again and I forgot the outer cover's got a spine split,
Oh,
but the inner cover doesn't.
nice.
I don't know. I think
I
it's going to come back with a pretty solid grade for a Golden Age book.
I only have one double cover.
I think I have 2, and I've had 4 at one point. They're just an intriguing little niche.
Yeah, they are.
The shop I go to said they had just sold a. I want to say it was a first Jubilee double cover, and they didn't realize it was double cover till the guy bought it.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, all right, that's
What's
cool.
that? X-Men 244?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not a bad deal.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Like, it's not every double cover; it's the keys.
Yeah, definitely. And
Or
I think
even minor keys.
I think it's kind of better when it's like a key that like maybe was heavily produced, so you kind of get like a rare book of that key.
I had
Like
a cool one that I sold at a first Metamorpho, Raven the Bull 58, and I let it go for too little. So, I don't know, you see those Spider-Man 300 doubles, or seem to see quite a few New Mutants 98 doubles.
Yeah, I have a 361 double.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Graded or raw?
graded 9.8.
Oh, that's worth some money.
Yeah, but that's in my
Chris
base.
Quintos wants to know about triples. I just think you get a little
Yeah,
crazy.
that's when there's three covers, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard of as many as 8.
8?
Yeah,
Like,
Matt
that's
Skillman says some guy on IG had a 361 with 6 covers.
yeah, and I've heard of like well, that beats me. Like the key that I've heard of had like 5. There was I don't know, it was First Galactus or somewhere in that Fantastic Four run in the 48 to 52 had a 5.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's insane.
Yeah, like how does that get past QC?
Yeah, somebody needs to not have their job.
Well, you got to think they're just printing presses. Shit goes wrong.
Yeah,
But 6 or 8?
I'll tell you what, that inner cover better be a 9.8 with 6 fucking ones to protect it.
right.
Yeah, that's just a centerfold at that point.
The double covers I've seen, sometimes the second cover still takes a bit of a beating. Usually the colors are better, but they still usually have bends and folds and shit. But I don't have many moderns. I've got all older shit.
So do they don't take the first cover into account at all?
They do.
Still graded. The number is the second cover. The number on the box.
So like on the label, it'll say like outer cover 9.6, inner cover 9.8, and then like the grade will be 9.8.
Oh, okay. I have a slab double cover Turtles book, but I didn't look. I'll have to pull it out to see if it
Yeah, it's something like the fine
differentiates the
print.
grade.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one, Paul.
Yeah, that was you. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Like, is it number 2 or number 3?
I think it's number 3. Yeah.
I mean,
Number
that's
3.
the kind of shit that's the kind of shit you want to find the double covers in that are like
I'll see if I can
key-ish.
find it. Hang on.
Like, because the real keys are too expensive already, but like something key light, Ninja Turtles 2 or 3, that's cool.
Yeah.
Something that's key enough to be key, and then double cover makes it way more interesting because people aren't looking for it. But as soon as they see it's double cover or triple cover, they're like, well, that makes it way more cool than it was.
Nobody has that. I gotta buy that.
What?
No, like that's what people say about. Like I think with the double covers and stuff, there,
Well, it's all about having something unique. I mean, that's what
because everybody has not. Yeah.
Yeah, this one says both first and interior cover are 9.6.
And what in the grade is 9.6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what issue is it?
It's a number 3, volume 1 Turtles signed by
Oh, and it's an SS too.
Eastman.
Is that a first print?
Yes, it is.
Man,
First print 9.6.
Paul, I must really love you because I should have bought that book.
Wow,
Which
that's a hell of a book.
Which cover did they sign, the outside cover or the inside cover?
He signed the outside cover.
That would have been cool if he'd signed the inside cover.
Yeah.
Fuck you! I don't want to do the splash page, and I don't want to ruin the.
No, I'm sorry.
Inside.
It says signed and sketched by Kevin Eastman on both covers.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
That's
Man, that
Are
is
you
a
gonna crack it open to see the sketch?
that is a cool ass book, Paul.
Man, Z, I've never gotten a tip like that.
Yeah, if I remember right, that was a
It
while
was in
ago.
your backyard, buddy.
Z said he couldn't
Was it
afford
really? It was in my backyard?
It's that place near Dayton.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're right. I couldn't afford it. I was going to Baltimore, and I had bought my Bone 1 and my Crime Suspense 22 and my Exciting 9 that same fucking day. I had spent like $2,200 the week before Baltimore, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
But you hooked me up with a PC book, so that should make you feel better.
Well, yeah, that's a book that you should own.
Paul's not going to be razzing that one like somebody on UD we know.
No, if I ever see that on the Raz page, I'm going to drive over to Paul's house and beat him.
Right?
Man, that's awesome. But I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I don't think I recalled it was sketched. I knew it was SS.
Yeah, I can throw some pictures up. There was another one too. Hang on, I'll grab it since we're on the topic. Hold on.
Did you buy the second print that same day too? Wasn't there a number 1 second print? Did you buy that too?
He muted himself.
No,
I had to grab it. What'd you say?
You bought a number 1 second print at the same time too, right?
Yeah, so it's the same store. So this one is a number 1 second print signed and sketched by Eastman on the interior cover. It's a 7.5. So they had both of those books at the store, and you're like, hey, you sent me a picture of it, and you're like, hey, the store had these books, but I can't afford them.
Wait, was that no? That wasn't a double cover though.
No, this one's not a double cover.
It was just sketched on the interior.
Yeah.
No, that was a cool book too.
And I called them, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you mail out books and yada yada. So they're, oh, hold on, let me get the I don't know if it was the manager or the owner or both. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if he worked with me on price too, but
no, they didn't. They didn't do much.
Yeah,
they said they price low and you buy it or you don't.
Yeah, so
they were really reasonable from what I remember.
Yeah, I'd have to look up the post, or I don't think I had the paperwork in the.
I'm pretty sure you got both of those under 500 total.
I think so.
I am relatively sure. They had another really cool PC book that I want there, but I kind of gambled that it would just be there because nobody else was looking for it. So
that's a good store. That's a good store.
And we're not saying the name because fuck you.
No.
Guys.
Oh yeah, no way. But it's a good store.
I was talking to Dino on our Cincinnati trip that we need to plan a weekend because don't they have 2 locations?
They're across the street from each other.
Anyway,
yeah, the other place.
It's a lot of.
Yeah, that's actually. I actually picked up
good stores. Fucking Stein sent us on a wild goose chase, and we randomly found the coolest store in the Midwest.
Yeah, what happened? You guys.
Okay, first of all, this was not suggested by me. Dino came to me and said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this store?" And I said, "Yes, I've been to that store a couple times, and I have no idea what he has in his back room, no clue." But you guys didn't actually go to the store that I told you to go to. That's got.
No.
So you guys missed out on that.
No, but so Dino had called, or we talked about it last show. Dino had found a place that was supposedly going out of business. The owner wanted to sell some books. He said he was going to kind of let us in on new stock. We show up, and he's like, I can do 15% on older books, no sales taxes if you pay cash, which is okay, not great, but his prices aren't that good. And he's got an online store, so everything's online. So if it was a good deal, it was already bought. So we spent 2 hours there digging through everything he had. I bought 2 books. Paul bought a few Turtles books, and Dino bought, I don't know, maybe $150 worth of books. And nothing amazing. And he gave Dino no discount because they were all moderns. I'm like, you made him drive 3 hours saying you were going to hook him up, and you did nothing.
Oh, that sucks.
No, it was terrible. It was the same stock as online.
Z, did you or Dino ask him about the back room? Because
No, he said, I haven't brought that stuff in yet.
Because he had boxes in the back, and on the way down, Dino's like, yeah, he's going to let us in the back room, and then I never.
I have a feeling when he walked in the door, he's shut Dino down, and I'm like, man.
Well, it doesn't sound like he's going out of business if he's not discounting.
2 years.
When
we showed up, he said 2 years. And I'm like, oh, what the fucking 2 years? You could have told us that.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years means you got a long time to blow shit out. And I don't know. It's fine. It's not a bad store. It just, we were sold a bad bill of goods.
Yeah.
And to double the insult, I asked for 2 new books, and he says, I don't carry those. They don't sell. Fuck you.
Wow.
But he's a Zenoscope pusher, so I don't know. Degenerates.
Well, one of those.
I've never seen so many Zenoscope books in my life.
There was 4 boxes of Grimm Fairy Tales, 4 short boxes.
Yeah, because people don't buy it.
with all the, the stuff numbered to like 10.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like all that stuff. I mean, it's all the stuff that you have to buy. Like he'd have to buy at a high premium.
Yeah. So then
That's why he can't discount his other books.
Yeah. So we talked to our buddy Stein, and he wanted to send us to the south side of town, which is a legit thing. Except Dino and Paul had already burned 2 hours. They had to head north. I had to head back west, and we just couldn't commit another 40 minutes the wrong way. So we hit up the Google and the Yelp and found another store that was on both of our ways home, and we were pleasantly surprised.
That store is pretty. It's a pretty store.
Yeah, we just plugged in like comic stores near you, and this was the closest one. So we're like, we're already down here.
Yeah, I believe Paul put some images up on the Flipside page already.
Yeah, I tagged you in that one because I didn't know if you had any.
I have a few, and I'll post them, but they were kind of by. Paul focused on the details. I took pictures kind of the whole thing. They were. We walk in the door, and there's like columns and wood floors and like built-in cabinets, and all their wall books weren't on a wall. They were in a room, like a glassed-in. Made me think like a wine room or a humidor room.
Yeah.
And they had a sign, please ask to go in. And we're like, can we go in? Can we go in? I won't say their wall books were priced great. They were a little overpriced, but most shops are. I found one solid deal. I think Paul bought something interesting. You weren't going to go there and get rich, but it was well worth the trip. I mean, it had to be. What do you think, Paul? 3,000-4,000 square feet?
Yeah, it was. Didn't Dino ask what it used to be, and it used to be like a model home or model or something.
It was a model home, like sales floor. So like you want to get this option of built in, you want to get this. So it was all there, and they had just filled it up with comics, and it was unbelievable.
I posted a couple links in the chat, but the store is called Up, and Away. And for anybody
on the north side of Cincy, because they say they have a south side store that is just average.
Yeah, this one is on Pfeiffer Road. If you type it into Google, but there's a couple. They have a couple images up too that kind of give you the layout of the store. But it's like walking in, I had no idea that this is what the store was going to look like. But it's really nice, it's like a museum. I mean, they have tons of statues and. A nice like Superman's cape and some murals that are made of Lego, and
yeah, they got a huge Lego section.
No, really solid Legos, but it isn't like Lego trash. It was like collector set Legos.
Yeah, and that is their second store. They just opened that one probably just a few years ago.
They said a year and a half.
Yeah, it's not been up there that long.
But we like were there for 2 hours and would still find cool shit.
Yeah, it was that store made the trip worth it.
What was the Batman issue? 401, 404, one of the year one covers?
Yeah, 401.
I think it's 401. And like it is literally the size of like a dual patio door of Lego bricks into a comic cover. And I'm like, I might be inspired for a new hobby. They had another one veiled over that potentially is maybe it's a Green Goblin cover, maybe SM 121 is my guess, but it could be something else.
Is he on a glider?
Yeah, he was definitely on a glider. Like it wasn't done.
Then.
It might have been 122. It was covered up, so we could only see a bit, but Paul had just figured out it was a glider and Green Goblin, so we know that much. They had all kinds of other Lego art. And there was at least 6-7 rooms, Paul.
Yeah, the place was really big and set up nice too, because they had some rooms that were pretty wide open. They divided them.
Yeah, I mean when we show up, we're not the littlest guys.
Yeah, all three of us squad that little glassed-in room for their.
There was 2 other guys in there at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was well done, and they had like a dollar room. It's probably 40 long boxes, dollar books in a room. They had another book room that was like trades, but there was all like decorative. It was all really nice.
And they didn't kick us out when Dino decided to just start opening books.
Dino?
Yeah. Oh, it's a Dino problem. We were in that little. They have a picture of it kind of online, but anyway, we're in their little glassed-in room, and Dino's like, "You guys think I can open this to check out condition?" And
Nice.
he popped the tape and was about to pull it out. I think he had it halfway out, and the guy like turned around the corner, and just looked at us, started shaking his head, like stop. But they're really nice. He came in, he's like, "Hey, let me take it out of the bag and board. That way it's not on you and all that."
That's a very good idea. I always let them take it out.
Yeah, but I mean,
generally I do, but I've been to a few shops where they do a worse job than I would.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, they weren't.
Not these guys. No, just saying it sometimes happens. I've had a shop ruin a book with a tape pull, and you're like, you idiots.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, they there were what, 2 employees?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were really nice. I mean, they weren't hovering over us. They asked us, just a couple times if we needed help, and saw us carrying little stacks of books, and they're like, "Hey, can we hold those up at the front for you to get it, take them out of your hands," kind of thing. But really neat place.
And we didn't strike gold there, but I think we all found enough books that we felt good about the trip.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we found a few dollar books. We found a few books in there, $3 to $20 kind of room. And we all found a few things we were happy with.
Z, thanks again for those Wolverine books. I didn't realize till I got home that one of them was priced at $20. I thought they were each $5.
So did I. There was one that was 20.
Yeah, issue 2 was $20. I thought it was $5.
Man, so did I. I thought they were all. Oh, I bet. Remember how some of them were priced different on the front and the back?
I think so. I have to double check, but I was looking at that and just started laughing.
We saw one in the other room that was priced different front and back.
Yeah. They're up here. I'll have to take a look. But it was Z found Wolverine, the original series 2, 3, and 4, and I was like, "God damn it!" But he was nice enough to give those to me because they've been on my list for a while, just to tuck in a PC box. And
have you guys ever read that story?
No.
But
I still think
really good.
Even at $30, I don't think that was bad.
No, 3 and 4 were $5 each, and number 2 was 20. But number 2, I mean, the condition. I think the condition more than $20.
You could have argued if we would have noticed when you bought it.
Yeah, we were just that must be their part of their gimmick. Then they have such a nice store that you're so distracted.
No, I'm sure it said $5 on the front.
I have it here now. I gotta check. Hang on.
I am almost positive because I would have thought 20 is a fair price, but not a steal.
No.
Well, I'm glad that you guys at least found something.
It's all right. Like I said,
but I do not take the blame for sending you to the first place.
No,
that was a nice joke you pulled on us, Ben.
That guy like sold Dino on a false bill of goods.
No, he needs a bar of soap too.
Dino got closed on.
Yeah.
Well, we rolled in. I know Dino had a couple grand in cash, and I had a grand in cash.
Dino was pissed. He was ready to spend money.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, I can do like 15% maybe." Like, really?
Like, come on, dude. Don't say you're ready to sell.
So hold on. So Dino was not able to close a deal?
No, he was.
Dino's a seller, not.
Well, he's like, I sell on the web. I can sell it. I'm like, you can. We're here buying, putting cash in your hand, man.
Yeah. You want to keep this off the books?
Well, and that stuff. I mean, that guy's probably had for a long time.
Yeah, it's a website you can find if you look. I mean, if you dig comic websites, it's probably in the first 20 you're going to find.
Yeah, that Wolverine was at 20, but whatever.
Well, on the front too?
Oh, it didn't have anything on the back.
Oh. Huh. Maybe I just got excited with the other two. I could have sworn they were all 5 as well.
It's all good. It looks really nice. I don't care.
No, I think that's still a fair deal.
Yeah, I was just laughing.
30 for the 3 isn't bad.
No. I'll keep my eye out for a number 1.
You sold the number 1 like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You razzed a 9.6. I remember.
Well, hey, if you guys do come back, and maybe I won't have to go to a wedding. But if you do come back,
how are you going to weddings?
Oh man, it was a girl that we've known for like forever.
Weddings are for like 25-year-olds.
No, now I'm at the age when they invite all the old people because they know they'll come and bring gifts.
You're the gift bearer.
Yeah. But no, if you guys make it back, like I said, there are a couple. One, I would like to go back up to the one place.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna head back into Ohio as a group, we need to hit that place because that place. Well, that place has
got but the other place, like I said, has got they've got a bunch of silver, and they have some golden, but they do have a bunch of graded stuff. And I'm guessing the more bulk you buy, the better deal that they'll probably give you. But I found so many oddball things at that store that, I always walk out with stuff from there.
Well, I tell you what, I am dying in Louisville.
Yeah. Are you still going back to Louisville? I mean, are you still down there?
I still am there probably 2 nights a week, sometimes 3.
Yeah,
but I'm not willing to drive. I'm living on like the southwest side, and like I don't want to drive after work to the east side. So I'm just not willing to go an hour after work to go over there.
Yeah, did you go to there's one store on the south side that's way south. It's like probably the most southern in Louisville. Have you been to that one?
You might have to send me that name again.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, they at least. Well, they did. I mean, I know he at one point blew. I mean, he had a bunch of stuff and then blew it all out and then restocked for somehow. I don't even know how he had it, but he's got a ton of.
I don't think that one comes up on my searches.
Okay, I'll send you the name again.
Yeah, you sent it like before I was actually down there. I remember it was a little heading towards Bardstown or something.
It's pretty far south. I mean, it's more south from downtown, but yeah, the stuff in downtown is most of it is not good at all.
No, and then there's that friend from IndyCon that I'm sure has picked through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't even want to talk about that dude.
No, so I don't know. It was a fun trip. That shop. If you get to Cincinnati, go to Up and Away. We'll post some more pictures, but I mean, it was well worth the fucking stop.
Yeah, it was. I mean, pictures. Everyone says pictures don't do it justice, but this one was just part of the experience too. I mean, what were some of the nice books they had in that glassed in area that you remember, Z?
They had a really nice selection of some Golden Age books. Like, again, they were priced a tad high, but not crazy. Just, when you were kind of going buying value, you don't want to overspend. But they had a nice selection of some silver keys. I remember there was a Silver Surfer #1. Lots of modern keys. Some decent values. There was a Caliber 1 that was not terribly priced. So it's definitely worth stopping in and taking a look. Not so much that you're going to get a cheap buy, but you might find a book you're looking for. So, no, that store was. I don't think the pictures Paul took. He was very focused on the detail items. Doesn't show the scope of how big this place was.
Yeah, I was pulling out the pictures now. That the Lego art they have. Some of them they're done. Where at one angle looks like Homer Simpson, at the other angle it looks like Ned Flanders, and
that was amazing. That and the R2D2 Boba Fett. I didn't know you could do that. I told my kids, I'm about to go spend $1,000 on Legos and start a new hobby.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't think we were in the back at that time. They wouldn't let us take pictures of they had an Iron Man Lego and a Boba Fett. I don't know why. The lady went up front to ask if I could just take a picture of it, and came back and said, "I'm sorry, you can't." So whatever.
I don't think they'd unveiled it yet. I think it was truly like an unveiling, because that other giant thing was under a curtain. So I think it's an event for them.
Oh, okay. How big do you think how big do you think that Batman 405 was? Like
5 by 7.
Yeah, something just gigantic.
It was big. I mean, I want to say double doorway size.
Yeah, like French doors.
Yeah, it was big. Maybe not quite as wide, but real close. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a real barcode and stuff. Like, the picture does not do that justice, because it almost just looks like you're taking a picture of a comic.
Mm. What were you gonna say, Ben? They do like unveiling events there?
No, I was just gonna say I don't remember. I mean, it's the last time I was there was at that's the place that I always go for Free Comic Book Day, and I don't remember seeing that there the last time so I guess that was back in May, so I don't remember seeing it then. So it might be something brand new that they had.
I thought she said it was previously up and they took it down because it was too heavy. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, it was cool. They have some for Lego. They have, I don't know, sweet. They had, I was looking at them now. They have the Simpsons house and the Quickie Mart in Lego, and it's a really neat.
That Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblr was nice. If you have kids that are old enough to understand do not touch, it's a really cool store to come check out.
Oh, that Iron Man bust was sweet too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This to me, like, it's probably not the nicest shop in the country, but I'd be willing to put it on a top 10 list without being at any of the others.
Yeah. And they said their other location wasn't set up the same, so it's not a museum type setup.
No, their other store
into a showroom.
Yeah, their other store is old.
Have you been to it though in a while? Is it nice, or the kind of the same thing as far as you're not really going to find any gems?
No, I mean they've got. I think the other store probably has more back issues, but it's the store is it's like in downtown Cincinnati. I mean it's not in the greatest of areas. This new store, I mean that's a much nicer area. That northeast side of Cincinnati is a lot nicer than the side of Cincinnati, but yeah, I mean, so it's much older. I think they bought that out from somebody else, several years ago, and I think they just, I don't know how they decided to open up a second store, but I don't know. It at least gives me hope that that some shops out there are doing the right thing to where they can actually expand rather than contract.
It wasn't a cheap setup, that's for sure. They have to, whoever owns that place has some bank.
They were running a tight inventory though. I went to look for new books and they had a few, but they did not overorder. So somebody there is smart. They're not sitting on just junk back stock.
No, and the few times that I've gone over there, like trying to get Wednesday variants or something like that, a lot of times they have them, but I don't see them over. It never seemed like they had like a big stack of 100 new issues or anything like that.
No, I mean we were there on Saturday, and I don't think there was more than 5 issues of anything. Like they put their new books on one little section, and they did not have a ton of overages left come Saturday. Which I think that's where you need to be. Sell it to your customers, sell it enough for your walk-ins, and you don't want to buy shit you don't need.
John Dalton was asking in the chat what we look for when we go to stores, like Modern's keys, run fills, or is it just play it by ear?
It's funny.
The first box and go on from there.
Yeah, it's funny. Mel kind of asked the same question, I think, on G Plus this week. You know, like what do you do when you walk into a store you've never been to before? And you know, unfortunately, I, mean, I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate, but I mean, where I do travel, I do end up in a lot of shops that I've never been to before, and I kind of ignore the wall books initially, just because most of the time the wall books have been there for so long that, and they're most of the time they're overpriced. Uh, you know, I just try and go to those back issue bins. Try and find, you know, if they do have a variant, you know, specific box or something like that, I'll go through that first, and then you know, and then I'll hit those back issue bins, hoping that, you know, they have shoved some variants in there as well, or some, you know, things like, you know, Tech 850 or, you know, something like that that's, you know, they shouldn't have put in there or that they didn't know about. But I don't know. I think those wall ones, they just tend to overprice them so much that the regular customers never end up buying them.
Well, I think you can judge a little bit by the wall books. You can judge how long the store's been there, what kind of selection they have.
You
You
can
know, if it's
also tell a lot by
it's
the
all
pricing,
moderns,
too.
then you know they've not been around very long, and their back bins are not going to be particularly. If you like older stuff, you're not going to find any of that. You might find variants or random things, but you know the wall will tell you a little bit.
I think for me, like we went in that first shop and I was like, all right, I'll just go to Turtles because that's what I like and go from there. After that, just because of where I'm at in my collecting, I was just looking for stuff that I could take home and flip. At the second store, just because they had mishmash dollar bin boxes, we were just flipping through to see what caught our eye. But I don't know. I think to answer John's question, just depends, or John Dalton rather, just depends where you are in your comic hobby, what you're looking for at the time. If you have time, go through it all. But if not, maybe specialize where you look.
Yeah, I tend to take a scatter approach. I think the wall leads me to what to look at. You know, do they have dollar bins? I, I don't know. I'm not. I don't generally waste a ton of time in the dollar bins. I'll scan them, see what kind of stuff's in there. Um,
Yeah, I think you know. I think on the dollar bins, I think you know pretty quickly if there's a possibility that you might find something decent in the dollar bins. I mean, if you pull it up and, or if you know the first box is, you know, every single issue of Youngblood or something like that, you know, you pretty much already know this is not, or they're so scattered, you know, they're not even in the right letter. You know, Y and T are in the same box or something like that. You know, that's going to be just an awful task of going through.
which is usually where you'll get rewarded, but you got to have the time to do it.
Oh, you do for sure.
Like you know, Paul and Dino and I, we were at that second shop and we were kind of sectioning up the dollar bins, and we looked at a few of them, you know, overlapped, but it was kind of like I don't have the energy to do all these.
Yeah, they had man, what was that? How many were in that one room, John? Like 29 or something?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. There's enough, and
Yeah.
they were well bagged and boarded and you know clean.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
think
just
I've ever
obscure
been.
shit.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a shop where they had that much stock and everything was bagged and boarded. I've seen just bagged, but bagged and boarded, at least in my experience, is rare.
The best shop around me won't board anything unless it's over $10. So you go to their back issues and they're all just bagged. So you might find a variant, but you aren't finding 9/8s.
Yeah, I hate that.
But I'm like, really? Are you not going to spend it? And then I'm like, well, I get it. If you've got all that shit there, I don't know. It's like one of those.
What does it cost them? 5 cents for a board?
It does, but you know, I get it. Times
Well, yeah,
they have significant back issues.
I'll be honest though. I mean, when the stores that in general, the stores that I've seen that do bag and board everything, you know, if it's a $2.99 cover price, they'll bag and board it, throw it in the back issue bins, and it's 3 1/4. They'll add the 25 cents which you're actually paying a premium then on the bag and board because they're probably getting it for, 8 cents for the bag and board. But they'll usually, every single book will be a quarter over the cover price on the back issue bins. I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd much rather than bag and board everything, and I'll pay that extra quarter.
But you have to think, what sits there and doesn't sell?
Yeah, I bet you that stuff would move a lot faster.
I don't know if it does. I mean, yeah, I think they aim for the reader.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, I guess you also have to. You've got to look at the people who like me that are going through and not necessarily getting them to read. But if it's if it's 2 long boxes full of books and every single one of them is unboarded, the guy like me is going to take almost no time and just say, forget this. I'm not going, because I can't even see the titles. They're crammed in this box. There's no boards. They're going to be in terrible condition. So I'm not even going to look.
They don't care. You are not their base.
And I get that I'm not their base, but I'm going to probably spend, if they're all bagged and boarded, I'm going to probably spend $40 or $50 on back issues if they would just add, these 8-cent boards on these things. And I guarantee you, I can't be the only one that's out there.
You can't, but somebody else is going to buy them for that price they're at and take the hit that they're not 9/8.
I guess. I mean, like I said, though, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess they probably. Well, I would hope that they weigh both options, but I'm not even sure that a lot of these shops even look at it.
I'm sure you've been to this shop, Ben. So I mean,
I don't understand the whole point of bagging with.
Oh, the one that you've been to in Indy.
I'm sure you've been to this one. You've been to all of them here.
Yeah, I've been to everything in Indy, or I think I've been to everything in Indy.
It's the one of the 2 on the north side that doesn't bag and board.
They don't bag and board.
I mean,
they got a ton of. They have a ton of back issues.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've been to it then.
And that's the thing is, I sometimes go there and I just get lazy because I'm like, I don't care.
Wait, one of those stores you're saying they don't bag or board?
It's just but they're shit books. Their second one is on the north side, and they'll bag them. They've got just dollar bins of unbagged and boarded shit. So that's a shit show. I don't go there.
Yeah, I'd probably actually. I mean, I guess maybe I would. I mean, if it was my own shop, I guess I would probably. I would probably weigh the options and probably do some kind of price comparison or something like that. But like I said, I bet a lot of these stores probably don't even.
Well, I think
they don't even give it that thought.
Well, I think the issue is though you got to think, this is all overstock. Are you going to put more money in something you didn't sell right away?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe this is just going back to the, when I collected baseball cards as, early 80s. I mean, even way back then, I mean, I was still every single card I was putting, I mean, other than just common cards, I mean, I was putting in, I mean, anything that any player that I'd ever heard of, I mean, was going in a penny sleeve. I mean, I just every single time, and that was 30 years ago. And I think I've just kept that same mentality and I did that with comics back in the early 90s. I mean, like I said, even if I didn't think that it was going to be worth anything, I wanted it in a bag and board because I just, in my mind, I knew the condition 20 years out is always going to be key. And if it's in crap condition, I don't care I know condition's just going to be so important.
I get it. I get both sides of it.
Christopher in the chat was saying that bags and boards are a write-off as a business expense.
I get it. I just think they, saves space, saves time, saves work.
Oh yeah, it does save space. There's a shop in my area that I don't go to because it's a whole other story. But his books are only bagged, but they're still in there so freaking tight you can barely see what you have unless you take out a big stack. Just enough to be able to see what book you're looking at. It's crazy.
I hate that's one thing I hate. If I can't look through your boxes, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
hate
does
tight.
suck.
I don't know. I think shops that don't board, they're just living a bit in the past. They're doing what has always worked for them, and they just go with it. So
Cool.
Well, you guys want to wrap it up? I guess. I mean, the only funny story I have. I mean, Dino and I were laughing all the way down and back, but we stopped at a Cracker Barrel.
I already am laughing. I don't even know what it's about.
Stopped at a Cracker Barrel on the way back, and they didn't. It was I don't know what time it was. It was like 7:30 or something, but they didn't bring me a breakfast menu, which understandably it was 7:30 at night. But I finally asked the waitress. I was like, "Well, where's the breakfast menu?" And so she had to bring me their actual breakfast menu. But anyway, I finally ordered what I wanted, or chose what I wanted. And then she came back to the table and she's like, "Well, what else do you want with that?" And I was looking at it. I was like, "Well, I don't want this. I don't want that." And I was like, "Just give me a few more minutes." And I totally changed my order. Dino was all set. He's like, "Am I ever gonna get to eat, Paul? For you fucking decide what you want?"
Worst character ever.
And then so we got our food, and I gave Dino some cash to go pay while I went to the bathroom. And then we're like a good 20 minutes up the road, and he's like, "Totally forgot to tip our waitress."
Oh no! You guys are assholes.
I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I paid at the front, and I just totally forgot. I kept all my change." I was like, "Oh, Dino, fuck." So she probably thought it was me because I got my meal, and I took a bite of what was in the little dish, and I was like, what the hell is that?" And I was like, "Dino, what are these?" And he's like, "Yeah, it looks like mashed potatoes." I'm like, "I don't know what that is." So I asked a waitress. He's like, "Oh, that's gravy." And I was like, "Oh," I just took a big bite of gravy. It was like it tastes like gelatin. I was like, "Oh man." It's like, well, and then she was really nice. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know, there must have been a mistake that, did you think you were getting mashed potatoes? Can I switch it out?" And I was like, "No." I was so full at that point. There was no point of bringing me mashed potatoes. And then later Dino's like, "Yeah, I forgot to give her a tip." And I was like, "Oh God, she probably thought it was me because of the gravy mashed potato fiasco."
That's great.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a Facebook post about some pricks that didn't tip.
Yeah. Oh man. So if I ever head down that far again, I'll see if I can stop at that one. Maybe find her again. Give a tip and redeem ourselves.
Just tip the next one better.
Yeah. But no, that was a good trip. It was a good time. I'm glad we got to meet up, and the second store was definitely made up for the first fiasco.
I am still disappointed because Paul did not give me the stories I expected.
I was just zoned out at that first shop. I don't know. I was just helping you guys out, move boxes and whatnot. But yeah, next time we'll just have to record the audio on the way down and back, and then just edit it because I think it was good.
I was expecting Paul to drop a statue and
yeah, man, bringing me into that museum store was a risk. I was looking by, and I was taking pictures. I had to back up, and I looked behind me before I took every step. I knew I'd back into some Lego mural, and the whole fucking thing would come off the wall or some shit. But all right, well, thanks for tuning in. That's our record listeners. We're ending the show with 12, and we started an hour late. So
well, I know at one point I looked and we did get up to 15.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I guess we know what's wrong with our show now. So we'll see who's tuned in next week or next time, host wise. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
for listening.
All right. Have a good night.
See ya.